everyone and welcome back to Barney's Backyard. I'm Barney and today we are going to be cooking lobster. So, what is a lobster? Well, if you guys don't know, lobsters are one of the largest members of the crustacean family. Crustaceans are crabs, shrimps, prawns, that sort of stuff. But these guys are a little bit more special than that. They are a luxurious ingredient, highly sought after throughout the entire world, and they are often associated with dishes that you would prepare for large celebrations, for feasts, for moments that you want to remember forever. Now, you can get these guys fresh, you can get them frozen, but I highly suggest that if you actually go out of your way to get yourself this special delicacy, make sure to find one live and fresh from your local fishmonger. Don't get something that's frozen. Now, you got home, you did your groceries, you're ready to cook, now you're facing down a massive, prehistoric looking, intimidating creature and you don't know how to get on. That's why we are here today. If you guys are not so keen on graphic images, we are working with a live animal here. You want to have a live lobster because of the unparalleled freshness that you get from preparing it this way. But it also comes with the prerogative that we have to dispatch and kill this animal first. Now, many people tell you just drop it in hot water, people tell you put it in the freezer. Actually, all of these methods are way more brutal to this animal than what I'm about to show you. What is important to understand here is that the lobster's critical organs, its brain and its critical organs are located inside this part of the body, in the head, alright? And they are inside. So if you actually start freezing, like if you imagine the lobster in a round, the organs are in the inside. So if you start freezing the lobster or start cooking it, all its external parts will have been already frozen or cooked by the time the brain actually gets cooked or frozen as well. Means you are actually torturing the animal. What I'm about to show you is the proper and human way to actually dispatch this lobster without the least amount of stress and suffering inflicted onto it. Right? With that said, let's start. Now, if you come in a little bit closer, I don't know if you can see it very well from the camera, around the middle, straight line going down, and an intersection coming in here. So you can clearly see there is a point here where the line across its head is meeting up, right here. Under this is where the brain of the animal is located, and that's what you want to access as fast as possible to properly and humanely dispatch it. So to do this, what you need is a very sharp knife and a very strong grip. As I said before, you need this intersection. You're gonna insert your knife exactly at the intersection where the lines meet. You want to have the edge of the blade facing away from you, not towards your hand, but away from your hand towards the face of the animal. You're gonna insert your knife, one strong movement down, and cut through towards the face. There. Now I know it seems brutal, but I can guarantee you that this is the fastest and most human way to make sure that this animal is dead. You see still some movements of the limbs, but I can assure you that the brain of this animal has been completely dispatched. It doesn't feel anything, it doesn't see anything, it's dead. With that, the animal is ready to cook. Just make sure to remove the rubber bands from the claws, otherwise you can flavor your broth in a very bad way. And we are ready to cook. Water to a rolling boil, salt just enough so that it's exactly as salty as the sea, and our lobster goes straight in. 3 minutes passed, we take it out into ice cold water to stop the cooking and to help the membrane separate from the shell. There we go. Cannot leave it in here for a long time, we just cool it down and then we immediately pour the water out. So we are ready to get this big boy out of here and get all the meat out. Now, just a heads up, as I said before, this 3-minute cooking that we did, it was mainly to separate the membranes from the shell of the lobster and be able to take the meat out and cook it further. It's not actually fully cooked. If you want to serve it as whole or just some butter sauce or something and you want to cook it in its shell, you will have to cook it longer. 10 minutes, 11 minutes, something like that. But If you follow this way, you can actually get the meat out and then prepare it after that the way you like it. So, all the meat of the lobster is located in all of these legs. Every single one of these legs have meat in it, the claws, and naturally the tail. Now, first of all, to start up with this, we're gonna remove the tail. You can see there is a joint here. You wanna grab the last joint and you just wanna twist and pull out all the meat. There you go. To process this tail, you could use a scissor to go up here and everything, but you don't really need it. Grab it like so. You could actually, at this point, grab yourself a towel to help you, and you just want to crack every joint lightly in the middle, just like that. Right, so once you did that, you can actually pull against it and have them separate. You see that? How they are just breaking apart and revealing all the meat? You will definitely get good images from this from the GoPro. Like this, see? Like so, you can see this is all beautiful meat right here. Boom. And you have yourself one beautiful lobster tail. That's the first part of the lobster, but we don't stop here. Yep, this is only very little of what's actually inside. At this point, you remove all the legs and you remove the claws. 2 claws. Now, the lobster brains inside here is actually one of the most highly valued parts of the lobster. You can keep all the shells and just make an amazing bisque or an amazing sauce out of it. So what you want to do to break down a claw is you see how the joints turn? You want to pull against that turn and then they easily separate like so. If you have allergy to shellfish, use gloves for this procedure, and these spikes, they are pretty sharp and they actually can give you a nasty sting. So be careful when you do this. Better do it slower. Take it slower, get to the end, than just rush it and then get yourself injured throughout the way. So for the claw, you just want to do the same thing, right? You pull against the way it works. Yep. And also, as you see, we cooked it pretty well because immediately this inside part is a piece of cartilage that is inside the muscle, inside here, normally. Also pulled away. Now, claw, knife, you can also use hammer, but the knife does it. And then you slam on it. Like that. It cracks and it makes it easier for you to separate it off the knife. Here you want to be a little bit careful because you have a big piece of precious chunk of meat here. And if you're careful enough, you can just pull out like so. So that's one claw. These knuckles that you have, you can use the same procedure. And there's our first knuckle. Same thing here. You see it opens up. One clear crack. There you go. Lower knuckle. So with that we covered most parts that the chefs usually cover, but don't stop there. Inside these tinier legs there is also really tasty meat. You just pop them off like so, and you can use a rolling pin, or you can use your knife, or you can use anything that you have around at that point handy for you to just push it out. And if you do it properly, you can see on the other end the meat. Look at that. You can even do it with your own fingers. Look. There you go. That's a leg. And the first leg. Yeah, you can get a lot of this meat out of this animal. You just have to be patient. So I just finished with cleaning everything. I made a bit of a mess here. But here I have my shells and here I have the lobster. This is the amount of meat you can get out of a lobster if you get yourself this delicacy, do yourself a favor, do it properly, do it justice, and end up with something like this. So, here we are, shells and meat. Now I'm going to throw you a curveball. This bowl actually has more flavor than this one over here. So if you went through all this trouble, you got yourself the lobster, you cleaned it, you cooked it, you have all the shells, do not miss this. You can make the most amazing bisque or sauce out of this. Just saute it in a saucepan, add the light mirepoix, add the dash of tomato sauce, flambe it off with a little bit of brandy, little bit of water, and you can make the most amazing flavors out of this. It's really something spectacular. Do not miss it. Now, the meat itself, at this point, is kitchen ready. Again, I want to remind you, the 3-minute cooking time that we have done to cook this so far is not enough to fully cook it. It was just so that the membranes separate and we can remove it from the shell beautifully as such. After this, just treat it as a fresh piece of seafood. You could put it into your pasta sauce and make the most amazing lobster pasta out of it. You could dip it in light tempura, deep fry it, and make the most special sushi roll out of it. Or you could just choose to worship the ingredient, follow our recipe, and just give it justice with a little bit of butter and lemon juice. So our lobster, we decided to prepare it one of the simplest but most beautiful way. Just gonna start with our pan. We're gonna drop in a small drop of olive oil. Once the pan has been brought to temperature, we're gonna add in some butter. And we are just going to saute our pieces. We're gonna start up with our tail and our claws. Largest pieces take longer to cook. You can base it a little bit with the butter. 2 to 3 minutes in, it's time to drop in some smaller pieces. Everything that we had left. All the little legs, all the knuckles, everything. Another minute later, when they are beautiful and golden brown, we're gonna add in our lemon juice. The lemon is gonna stop the cooking of the butter.
And now it's ready for the taste test. Look at this juicy claw. Let's see how it tastes. Oh wow. Really special. Really special. Enjoy.
Oh shit, this is the bad part for me, right?